Hello and welcome to Let's Talk Sport on YouTube, and today we are previewing Shakhtar Donetsk versus Manchester City in the Champions League group stages. Davies and Jack Price with you, and while it's the first game between the two in the group stage before they have the reverse fixture in a few weeks' time, and the Ukraine champions Shakhtar Donetsk are hosting Manchester City. And it should be an interesting game because Donetsk are one of those teams, Jack, that can sometimes pull off some good results at this stage of the Champions League, but sometimes they don't make it into the knockouts. But they, as I say, they like to pull up a few surprises. What do you think they can do in this game? Because Man City, well, just a normal day at the office for them back on Saturday, winning 5-0 against Burnley, and they were terrific goals, and certainly the team to beat at the moment.
Yeah, it's always a tough place to go, though, Shakhtar Donetsk.
It is, yes.
Sometimes it's to do with the team and the players for Shakhtar, but most of the time it's to do with the travel as well.
It is, yes.
It's a long way to go and to travel back as well, and especially considering they've got Spurs in their next Premier League match as well. I know that's not until the Monday, but again, you've got to bring the travel into it.
Not a big team, by the way.
No, they'll probably win quite comfortably.
Yeah.
Shakhtar Donetsk, like you said, sometimes they can pull off some great results, and other times it's just easy. But I think obviously this fixture for Man City will be a bit more difficult than playing at the Etihad. I think the Etihad fixture will be a little bit more comfortable, but always going away to Shakhtar Donetsk, does always cause a problem. So who knows? I mean, obviously, like you said, City have been pretty comfortable in the league so far, but obviously the Champions League is a completely different competition.
It's funny because they both met in the group stages last season. Now I can't remember the results, and to be honest, they don't really matter much now because Man City are probably just as good as
they did lose
were.
one, didn't they?
Shakhtar were the first team to beat City at the Etihad.
Oh, there we go. What, as in last season?
Yeah, last season.
So Shakhtar Donetsk were the first team to beat Man City at the Etihad last season, and of course United went and followed that and won 3-2. Great days. Yeah, but obviously 12 months on since those group stages. And funny enough, Shakhtar Donetsk are topping their league at the moment. They've only lost one game while City are undefeated, but that changes come the Champions. The European nights, it doesn't matter what form you're on, does it? That's the one thing I love about the Champions League. They all love the occasion, and Donetsk, a team that doesn't go far in this tournament, want to make the most out of these big teams.
Yeah, of course. But I also think when it comes to the Champions League, there's a lot more pressure on Manchester City as well.
They don't seem to do it, do they, in the Champions League?
I think obviously the pressure is always on them because the owners are a bit like Paris Saint-Germain. Obviously they've won their domestic titles now.
Yeah,
their main thing is what happens in the European competitions.
And to them it's a bit boring now, isn't it? We can still succeed in some competitions, but we put a lot of money into
this. Is the one that, yeah. What Manchester City need is they need Di Matteo for half a season to win the Champions League. That's what we did.
Who knows? Pep might get sacked in January. You never know.
I think that there's always a lot bit more pressure on Manchester City because of that, and because of that they want to progress and win the Champions League, and that might play a factor. But the way Man City are playing at the minute, I think that they should win this game.
So obviously the other teams in the group is Lyon and Hoffenheim, and as we mentioned, City they lost that first game at home to Lyon, and which was a big shock. 2-1, I think it was at the end. Hoffenheim they comfortably won away from home Man City, but if they don't get a result from this, they're still in that contention of. They might just miss out on going through, but I still think they'll go through. But it's that whole finishing first or second, because that determines which group of teams you could face in the knockout stages.
Yeah, and Man City are definitely that team that always like to push it to the last game. It's never very comfortable. A lot of Man City fans are like that, especially the Champions League. It's never a comfortable position when it's their team, because the last game when they really need something, they'll go down 1-0 and they have to push themselves back into it. So it's never an easy ride for the Champions League matches if you're a Man City fan. So I think it's probably a better way to play the away fixture of Shakhtar Donetsk first. Try and get a draw out of it. And try and get a 1-0 win if you can, and then going back to the Etihad. You've again got something to play for there. So, who knows? But I think, going away from home, I think 1-0 Man City.
Jack stroking his leg and nerves there for Manchester City. But anyway, just before we finish as well, the Man City team, when they beat Burnley on Saturday, they were terrific goals, weren't they? Riyad Mahrez, that was a typical goal they'd score at Leicester. Is he finally finding his feet at Man City?
Let's hope so. He did have Joe Hart in goal. So
yeah, good point.
Anyone can score past him.
And he's going to let City win to play for them.
But
he probably still gets paid now.
Riyad Mahrez, obviously, did a better job in that game than he did against Liverpool, skying the penalty. I think obviously he needed the next game to sort of prove himself, and that goal against Burnley was a master goal outside the box. So let's hope he's performing. Obviously Sterling wasn't playing on the weekend, so let's hope Mahrez can sort of fill that position well.
Absolutely. Well, anyway, that's our thoughts ahead of the game. Shakhtar Donetsk versus Manchester City. Who will win? Let us know your predictions on the comments below. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you very soon.